It can bomb in Australia. Once again, Australia. I hear Colonel Macgregor on Judge Knapp always carry on about the Chinese infiltrating our southern border and the Chinese stealing our intellectual property. How true is it? Or is he just being a rabid Chinese hater? That Judge Knapp, that Chinese hater.
Well, I think he's calling Colonel Macgregor.
Oh, Colonel Macgregor, yeah, sorry.
I don't know Colonel Macgregor personally. I don't know. I mean, I know a little bit about his biography. He's a man of great physical and moral courage, demonstrated on the battlefield. And again, I think anybody who read the article knows that I put a lot of weight into battlefield courage because I really truly think it's one of the few honest tests of men being men, because you're tested in every way possible, and that's probably why there's a lot of. Anyways, enough of that crap. But I hold him in high regard. His political beliefs, I think, are far more conservative than me. I think that he has a disdain for China. I would imagine, I have to go back and research, but I would imagine that prior to this Ukrainian conflict, he had a similar disdain for Russia. But I think he recognizes stupidity when he sees it on this policy. Look, China doesn't need to infiltrate our southern border. They just flow in anyways through visas and immigration. We have an open economic relationship with China despite all of the sanctions. Theft of intellectual property. I would just ask Colonel Macgregor to reflect for a moment on what the NSA does to China. The National Security Agency infiltrates every Chinese company worthy of note. We steal everything the Chinese do. We steal their technology. We try to infiltrate them. And if that's the world you want to live in, then understand that turnaround's fair play. And are the Chinese stealing our intellectual property? You're damn right they are. Do I wish they weren't? Yes. But am I going to sit there and call them out as evil when we do it to them? No. If we want to play this, if we're going to play this game, it's big boy rules, and you steal, you're going to get stolen from. Chinese just happen to be doing it pretty damn good. We need to do a better job of protecting our intellectual property. But to sit here and call them out is just, it's the epitome of whine, a whiner, a wimp, a loser. I'm not calling Colonel Macgregor that, but I'm just saying that he should reflect long and hard on throwing out these accusations to China when we do far worse to China. And again, the racism of, the Chinese are flowing across the southern border. No, Mexicans, Hondurans, Guatemalans, Nicaraguans are flowing across the southern border. Chinese aren't flowing across the southern border.
Next question comes from Robison X in Barcelona. As recent examples, Putin has offered North Korea rocket and space technology, and the Americans are stirring up things in Armenia. By what other means can the U.S. and NATO and Russia ratchet up the horizontal escalation on each other?
Well, first of all, you make it sound like this is an equitable game, meaning that it's tit for tat, quid pro quo, and any other thing I could throw out there that means equitable. But I was getting a little ahead of myself intellectually there. You threw me off with that damn article, so my brain isn't.
Well, that horse metaphor is as good as metaphors get, so we won't expect you to duplicate that.
Well, yeah, that was one that was a long time in the working too. So no, but let's just start with this. How many miles is between the United States and Armenia? Pro hint, thousands. All right. How many miles separate Russia from North Korea? The answer, none. They share a border. So right off the bat, you see this isn't an equitable arrangement. The United States is going out of its way to do. What is the historical connectivity between the United States and Armenia? Do they have the equivalent of the Russian conquest of the Southern Caucasus? Do they have the equivalent of the Armenian-Azerbaijani War of 1918, 1920, stopped by Soviet intervention? Do the Karabakh Council that created the reality that turned into Nagorno-Karabakh, which is the thing? The United States doesn't have a freaking thing to do with any of that. Nothing. Russia has everything to do with that. So America's literally going in and stirring up anthills in Russia's backyard. That's what America does. For Russia to go to North Korea, which has been targeted by the United States by sanctions, the United States has a regime change policy against North Korea that can't be implemented because North Korea has opted to have a nuclear deterrent. The United States is threatening preemptive strike, which means North Korea has a need for intelligence satellites that can look at American, South Korean, Japanese force dispositions and get real-time tip-offs against any potential first strike so that North Korea can prepare a deterrent force to prevent that from happening, thereby saving the world from thermonuclear war. But they're having trouble with that. So Russia's saying, hey, we can help you with that. That's actually, as an American, I'm like, thank you, because I would love nothing more than the North Koreans to be cognizant of all the potential threat scenarios so that they don't launch a preemptive nuclear strike. I believe in living until tomorrow. So that's the difference. Russia is a force of stability in this world. America is a force of instability. There is nothing we do that's good. If you think we're going over to Armenia because we love the Armenians and we care for the Armenians, just reflect on what we've done for the Ukrainians. And that's what American love's all about.